Good morning. It is a pleasure to participate in this very important conference. You will be looking at the strategic topic of modern and user-friendly e-services for public administration at all levels. The European Commission proposed on the 2nd of May a pragmatic, modern, long-term budget for the EU for the 2021 to 2027 period. That budget would see increased funding for investments into research and innovation, young people, the digital economy, border management, security and defense, which will contribute to prosperity and security in the future. The funding for cohesion policy and for the common agricultural policy would be moderately reduced, but both policies will be modernized to ensure that they can deliver with less and even serve new priorities. ICT remains a main priority for the future budget of the EU, including for cohesion policy. Digital transformation holds the key to unlocking future growth in Europe. Through dedicated programs and targeted financial support, the future budget will help to bring the EU's digital investment gap. It will tackle digital challenges from very high capacity networks, artificial intelligence, through the promotion of digital skills, personalized medicine, to the capacity to equip the EU against cyber attacks. What are the key investments at the European Union level? The Commission proposed to create the first ever Digital Europe programme and invest €9.2 billion into increasing digital challenges. The programme focuses on 5 areas. First, supercomputers. €2.7 billion will be invested into projects to build up and strengthen supercomputing and data processing in Europe. The funding will ensure a more effective and wider use of supercomputing in both the public and private sectors, including small and medium-sized enterprises. Second, artificial intelligence. €2.5 billion is planned to spread artificial intelligence across the European economy and society. The programme will give better access for public authorities and businesses, especially the smallest ones, to artificial intelligence testing and experimentation facilities in member states. The Commission proposes to develop common European libraries of algorithms that would be accessible to all, to help the public and private sectors to identify and acquire whichever solution would work best for their needs. Open platforms and access to industrial data spaces for artificial intelligence will be made available across the EU in digital innovation hubs, providing testing facilities and knowledge to small businesses and local innovators. The third area is cybersecurity and trust. €2 billion will be invested into boosting cyber defense and the EU's cybersecurity industry, financing state-of-the-art cybersecurity equipment and infrastructure, as well as the necessary skills and knowledge. Fourth is digital skills. €700 million will ensure that the current and future workforce will have the opportunity to easily acquire advanced digital skills through long and short-term training courses and on-the-job traineeships, regardless of their member state of residence. The digital innovation hubs will carry out targeted programs to help small and medium-sized enterprises and public administration to equip their personnel with the needed advanced skills to be able to access the new opportunities offered by supercomputing, artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Finally, ensuring a wide use of digital technologies across the economy and society. 1.3 billion euros will ensure the digital transformation of public administration and public services and their EU-wide interoperability, and facilitate access to technology and know-how for all businesses, notably small and medium-sized enterprises. The digital innovation hubs will be one-stop shops for SMEs and public administration, providing access to technological expertise and experimentation facilities, as well as advice to better access to business case of digital transformation projects. A network of digital innovation hubs will be supported, ensuring the widest geographical coverage across Europe. They are today one of the key elements of digitizing European industry strategy. Then, regarding the Connecting Europe facility, this will invest 3 billion euros in state-of-the-art digital infrastructure. The main focus will be high and very high capacity networks in order to promote digital connectivity infrastructure of common European interest. But the Connecting Europe facility will also invest in projects like the Wi-Fi for EU, which offers vouchers worth 15,000 euros for municipalities to set up free Wi-Fi hotspots in public spaces, including libraries, museums, public parks or squares. The new research and innovation program, Horizon Europe, covers the whole chain of research and innovation. It will include significant activities on digital technologies. Finally, under Invest EU, investments in digital will be possible under the 4 strands of the future Invest EU fund, in particular in digital infrastructures, in the digital transformation of small businesses, in research or digital technologies, and finally in support to social economy benefiting for the digital transformation. Turning now to cohesion policy, the Commission published its proposals on the 29th of May. As I mentioned before, ICT remains a priority for investments under the new cohesion policy. For the European Regional Development Fund, there are now 5 consolidated policy objectives. First, a smarter Europe, innovative and smart economic transformation. Second, a greener, low-carbon Europe, including energy transition, the circular economy, climate adaptation and risk management. Third, a more connected Europe, mobility and ICT connectivity. Fourth, a more social Europe, the European Pillar of Social Rights. And fifth, a Europe closer to citizens, sustainable development of urban, rural and coastal areas and local initiatives. The ICT investments will be supported mainly under 2 policy objectives, number 1 and number 3. But as the Internet has a cross-sectoral dimension, we can expect also investments under other policy objectives. Under policy objective 1, digitization is considered as an innovation enabler which cuts across all areas. Digital technologies are changing our lives, the way we work, shop, socialize, communicate, educate or entertain ourselves. Digital technologies reshape entire industries and value chains and sharpen market intelligence. They are enabling smaller, innovative and dynamic businesses to develop and bring faster to market innovative products and services that were impossible to think about before. Also, public administrations benefits from digitization thanks to cost reductions and leaner processes. Citizens and businesses enjoy a reduction of administrative burdens and better e-government or e-health services. Yet, more than 90% of SMEs in Europe feel that they are lagging behind in digital innovation. This means that too few SMEs in the EU embrace advanced and additive manufacturing, artificial intelligence, or augmented reality and master new services, especially in traditional manufacturing services. For these reasons, the ERDF investments in this field in the new programming perspective will concentrate on the ICT take-up in small and medium-sized enterprises. Business to business to customers, or customer to customer. The support will be directed still into e-inclusion, e-health, e-learning and e-skills, as well as e-government, including the take-up of the Europe-wide interoperable services. Under Policy Objective 3, the strategic vision of the ERDF intervention is the contribution to the gigabyte society target in 2025. ICT infrastructure is a major determinant of the development potential of EU regions. The capacity to operate successfully in a global business environment increasingly depends on fast and efficient broadband connections. While most prosperous regions are in general already well endowed in this regards, the lack of investment in high-speed broadband and the poor exploitation of ICT in less developed and sparsely populated areas may compromise the social and economic cohesion of the EU. For these reasons, the ERDF investments should concentrate on the areas where the current broadband penetration rate is low and speeds are significantly lower than required for the gigabyte society of 2025. As the most expensive part of the network are the end-user connections, they generate the least return for private investors and therefore as such can bring the take-up prices very high. The priority will be the fiber optic architecture that runs as deep as possible into the network, getting nearest to the potential subscriber, namely fiber to the home and fiber to the building. The points I presented today are the framework of the ICT investments in the new programming period 2021 to 2027. There is still a lot of work ahead of us. We have to make sure that the priorities set at the EU level are well translated into the characteristics and needs of each and every member state and for particular regions, and as such can bring the real EU added value. There will certainly be a lot to discuss in the coming months. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a very successful conference.